What's up everybody, Dr. McKay here and welcome back to another video of the history of NASA spaceflight. Today's video we are going to cover the Gemini project, the launch vehicles of the program and missions that NASA made during this project. So let's begin with the history of the Gemini program. Project Gemini was NASA's second human spaceflight program. Conducted between projects Mercury and Apollo, Gemini started in 1961 and concluded in 1966. The Gemini spacecraft carried a 2-astronaut crew. 10 Gemini crews and 16 individual astronauts flew to low Earth orbit missions during 1965 and 1966. Gemini's objective was the development of space travel techniques to support the Apollo missions to eventually land astronauts on the moon. Their launch vehicle was the Gemini Titan II, a modified intercontinental ballistic missile. This rocket is a 2-stage rocket standing at 33 meters high with a diameter of 3 meters. This rocket launched the Gemini capsule. A 2-man spacecraft, which is essentially a slightly larger version than the Mercury capsule. However, this capsule would not go with the launch escape tower, but instead use ejector seats, not unlike a fighter jet would have. This capsule also came with an adapter module, that consists of the equipment module that provides the power and in-orbit maneuverability, or the orbit altitude and maneuvering system, and the second, a retro module that was used to deorbit the craft for re-entry. As you can see, we have the Gemini capsule, the Gemini equipment module, the second stage, the first stage, and then the full stack Titan II missile with Gemini. Gemini was in some regards more advanced than Apollo because the latter program began almost a year earlier. It became known as a pilot spacecraft due to its assortment of jet fighter-like features, in no small part to Gus Grissom's influence over the design. And it was at this point where the US crewed space program clearly began showing its superiority over the Soviet Union, with long duration flights, rendezvous, and extravehicular capabilities. So now we know the vehicle, let's talk about some of the missions Project Gemini completed and cover what I will be recreating using my recreations. President John F. Kennedy on May 25, 1961 addressed Congress about the goal to land men on the moon.
The dramatic achievements in space which occurred in recent weeks should have made clear to us all, as did the Sputnik in 1957, the impact of this adventure on the minds of men everywhere who are attempting to make a determination of which road they should take. Since early in my term, our efforts in space have been under review. With the advice of the Vice President, who is Chairman of the National Space Council, we have examined where we are strong and where we are not, where we may succeed and where we may not. Now it is time to take longer strides, time for a great new American enterprise, time for this nation to take a clearly leading role in space achievement, which in many ways may hold the key to our future on Earth. I believe we possess all the resources and talents necessary, but the facts of the matter are that we have never made the national decisions or marshaled the national resources required for such leadership. We have never specified long-range goals on an urgent time schedule or managed our resources and our time so as to ensure their fulfillment. I therefore ask the Congress, above and beyond the increases I have earlier requested for space activities, to provide the funds which are needed to meet the following national goals. First, I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space, and none will be so difficult or expensive to accomplish.
This goal to send men to the moon was so ambitious that NASA had no idea how to achieve this feat. So after Project Mercury, they began to focus on the moon missions, or Project Apollo. But while Apollo was being built and planned, the head of engineering at the Space Task Group was assigned in February 1961 to start working on a bridge program between Mercury and Apollo. It was decided Project Gemini would be that bridge. The two-man space missions would attempt to complete various objectives for each step of the journey to the moon, starting from long-duration flights up to 2 weeks on orbit to EVAs, extravehicular activities, and rendezvous and docking with another craft on orbit. These goals would give NASA the skills for Apollo and ultimately give the US the upper hand in the space race. The program was publicly announced on January 3rd, 1962, with these major objectives. The first two missions were unmanned flights to test the rocket and heat shields of the capsule. The first manned flight was Gemini 3 with Gus Grissom and John Young on the 23rd of March 1965. They completed 3 orbits before returning to Earth. The next flight, Gemini 4, on the 3rd of June 1965, James McDivitt and Edward White did a 4-day mission that included the first spacewalk, which lasted 22 minutes, a milestone in spaceflight. The next mission, Gemini 5, lasted almost 8 days. Gemini 6 and 7 completed the first rendezvous with each other's craft. Station keeping for 5 hours next to each other. The next mission, Gemini 8, with Neil Armstrong and David Scott, achieved the first docking in space with another spacecraft, the Gemini vehicle. The mission had an issue which led to a near fatal tumbling of the craft. Armstrong overcame the problem, and the capsule did the first emergency landing of a US spacecraft. The next 4 Gemini missions completed more of the same, with rendezvous and docking, with spacewalks, each one setting various new records. The final flight of Gemini was Gemini 12, with James Lovell and Buzz Aldrin. On the 11th to the 15th of November 1966, Aldrin set an EVA record of 5 hours and 30 minutes. All these missions helped NASA learn the skills needed for Apollo, so with the history out the way, let's recreate a Gemini mission in Space Engineers using my recreation. I'm going to start with launching an Atlas Agena, then I'm going to launch a Gemini Titan II missile, and I'm going to rendezvous and dock with it in space and do a spacewalk, and then return to Earth. So let's go. I have all the rockets over here set up, ready to go. We have a Titan II Gemini there, and we have our Atlas Agena here. So I'm going to manually automatically launch the Agena. Close the fairing. There goes the Agena. Alright, with the Atlas Agena, or the Agena vehicle now in orbit, let's take the Titan II Gemini capsule and meet up with it and dock with it. So up the elevator. on the egress arm. Crew arm detached. Three, two, one. Ignition sequence start. Arms retract. And we have liftoff of the Titan Gemini 2 heading to space. Pitch over. Stage separation. Second stage separation, capsule is free. The Gemini capsule, or the Gemini vehicle, is 6 kilometers away. I need to slow down, obviously. Successful docking to the Gemini capsule. Let's do a spacewalk. Perfect docking. Alright. Now we've achieved our objective. Let's just say we spent a few days up here. Time to head home. So we are undocking from the Agena now. Gonna dump our equipment module now. And gonna use our retro pack to deorbit. Alright, time to ditch the retro pack now. Get off me. Heat shield down. We'll see you at splashdown. Splashdown. Mission successful. These missions of the Gemini program really paved the way for Apollo and the moon landing. The Gemini program was the most important step in the space race. It allowed NASA to achieve the goal Kennedy set all those years ago. It's a testament to the people behind the program and what can be done. So this has been a history of NASA spaceflight covering the Gemini program, the Titan II missile, and the history of the Gemini project with this recreation. I hope you all enjoyed the video and the history I've recreated here. I've been Dr. McKay, thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe for more. The Apollo program is next, so stay tuned for that one. Thanks again, cheers, and goodbye.